This video is about statutory methods of withdrawing federal tax liens. It's brought to you by IRSLienthumper.com and me. I'm Barry Smith. I go by Legal Bear on the internet. I found what I consider to be a needle in a haystack. I found someone that's more than a file clerk to do something with a letter that you write. We've all probably familiar, you're probably familiar, had it happen to you, where you send a letter to the IRS and it has absolutely no effect. You get no reply. Sometimes the replies are just, we need more time, or maybe no reply whatsoever. I found somebody that's designated to read your letter about your IRS lien, the lien, or their IRS lien, it's not yours, I guess, and approve the withdrawing of it. And after approving it, the IRS will want to know, which creditors would you like us to notify about having withdrawn the lien? About 1990, the creator spoke to me. He says, get a computer, learn how to use it, and start studying law full time. Over the last 20 years, I've studied law a lot. My wins against the IRS, the visions and revelations about dealing with the IRS are at irsarmory.com. For the last 10 or 11 years, the lien package consisted of 38 cases, the statute, section 7432, the regulation, and it sold for $99. The people who bought that package never complained, not even once. About 18 years ago, I got an idea. A lot of people have liens to remove, and there was money to be made for helping them do it. So I began to apply my research skills to enhance and improve the package. Previously, I hadn't applied myself with such fervor to understanding how the package worked. I assumed that the sections on liens worked the same as section 7433. As I did my research, I stumbled across another section that I didn't know about, 26 U.S.C. 6323J. And here's what that says. Withdrawal of notice in certain circumstances. In general, the Secretary may withdraw a notice of lien filed under this section and this chapter shall be applied as if the withdrawn notice had not been filed if the Secretary determines that. And here's what that says. The filing of such a notice was premature or otherwise not in accordance with administrative procedures of the Secretary. Most have already written letters to the IRS and just didn't know who to send it to. But this statute provides both a form and somebody designated to read what you write about to the IRS. Yeehaw! Because that is half the battle. Having somebody designated to read what you write. And also an opportunity to hold someone accountable. Section 6323J continues. Any such withdrawal should be made by filing a notice at the same office as the withdrawn notice. A copy of such notice of the withdrawal should be provided to the taxpayer. Continues. Upon written request by the taxpayer with respect to whom a notice of lien was withdrawn under paragraph 1, the Secretary should promptly make reasonable efforts to notify credit reporting agencies and any financial institution or creditor whose name and address is specified in such request of the withdrawal of such notice. Any such request shall be in such form as the Secretary may prescribe. Let's take a look at the regulation that goes with that. If a notice of withdrawal is filed, Chapter 64, Subtitle F, relating to collection, will be applied as if the withdrawn notice had never been filed. Isn't that what we're looking for? This is better than 7432 and 6325 because even if they release the lien, it's still going to be on your credit report. There's going to be a history there showing, that there was a lien at one time. The withdrawal of a notice of federal tax lien will not affect the underlying tax lien. Now, see there? That's giving you a clue on this issue of a notice of lien. See, as soon as they assess the tax, a lien arose against all your property and your rights to property, but there was no notice to the public. That's what a notice of lien is about, giving them notice. So we don't really care about this underlying federal tax lien because it doesn't really affect us. In other words, we can go out and close on our house and they'll give us our full check because there won't be any public notice of the federal tax lien. So here's an example that's in the regulation. The IRS failed to follow a procedure provided by the Internal Revenue Manual, but not required by statute, with regard to managerial approval prior to the filing of a notice of federal tax lien. The Commissioner may withdraw the notice of federal tax lien because the filing of the notice was not in accordance with the Secretary's administrative procedures. If the Commissioner determines the conditions for withdrawal are present, the Commissioner may, but is not required to, authorize the withdrawal. I recommend you put a couple Supreme Court quotes in your letter to the IRS about withdrawing their lien, and change that may into a shall. The first, Supreme Court said that no public officer can take any action affecting your property unless authorized to do so by express law. And that person invested with such a power must pursue with precision the course prescribed by law, or his act is invalid. And the second, where the rights of individuals are affected, what does a lien affect? It affects all your property or rights to property, screwing up your credit. It's incumbent upon the agencies to follow their own procedures. This is so even where the internal procedures are possibly more rigorous than otherwise would be required. You know, you can't expect the IRS to know all the case law, but here's some that, as far as I'm concerned, nullifies their regulation. So combine those two together with the IRS Restructuring Reform Act of 1998, Section 1203, requiring whoever reads your letter to give you all of your constitutional rights or be terminated for cause. And you're probably going to bust them on various statutory notice requirements anyway. Recently added the IRS Lien Thumper package. The Freedom of Information Act request is a result of combing through 244 pages of the IRM looking for every record required to be made in the lien process. That research resulted in a FOIA containing 36 requests for disclosure related to the lien process. That FOIA is included in the IRS Lien Thumper package. So IRS Lien Thumper provides 3 bona fide ways to remove IRS liens by writing letters under Section 6325, Section 7432, and Section 6323J. To me, the most attractive of these 3 options is Section 6323J. The number one problem for most people has to do with their credit. So you can get that at irslienthumper.com, is where I put the package together. Now, some of you are asking, do I have to be a taxpayer to use this? In the U.S. Supreme Court decision of U.S. versus Williams, the U.S. attorney, now this is, the government attorney, made this argument. Ms. Williams was not a taxpayer, therefore she could not access the court for remedy via the refund statute. And he strung together 3 statutes to make this argument. 1, under 26 U.S.C. 7422, a party may not bring a refund action without first exhausting administrative remedies. Under 26 U.S.C. 6511, only a taxpayer may exhaust. And under 26 U.S.C. 7701A14, Williams is not a taxpayer. The U.S. Supreme Court held Section 7701A14, defining taxpayer, informs us that when used in the Internal Revenue Code, where not otherwise distinctly expressed or manifestly incompatible with the intent thereof, the term taxpayer means any person subject to any internal revenue tax. That definition does not exclude Williams. The government reads the definition after it's said any person who is assessed any internal revenue tax. But these are not Congress words. The general phrase, subject to, is broader than the specific phrase, assessed. And in the tax collection context before us, we think it's broad enough to include Williams. So if you know someone who said, I can't use sections 6323J, 7433, and 7432 because I'd be declaring myself to be a taxpayer, we need to let them know, according to the United States Supreme Court, they were wrong. So let's review. 26 U.S.C. section 6325 and 7432 provide you with 2 administrative chances to win by writing a letter. 6323J provides you with the best chance to restore your credit. The IRS Lien Thumper package is a downloadable package containing the sample letters, case law, statutes, and regulations that provide you with a shortcut to competency. The link to the IRS Lien Thumper package is in the description of this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for listening.